pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Statutory Instruments Act, cognizant that the committee is required to make a report within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instrument by the Senate pursuant to Section 15(2) of the Statutory Instruments Act, which lapses on Tuesday, 17th February 2026. Aware that Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act provides that by a resolution, Parliament may extend the time for consideration of a statutory instrument by appeal not exceeding 21 calendar days.
Senator Fonandi, Senator Fanyeri.
Noting that the committee requires more time.
Take your seat. Senator Sigei.
Noting that the committee requires more time to consider concerns raised by the stakeholders on the regulations, now therefore, the Senate resolved to extend the timeline for the consideration of the cross-Bixia regulations, legal notice number 145 of 2025, for a further 21 days, pursuant to Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act, to enable the committee consider objections raised by the public and make its solutions on or before Tuesday, March 2026. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I lay and give a notice.
Majority Leader, there is a paper you are supposed to lay.
Mr. Speaker, these are additional papers for laying. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, 12th of February 2026. This is a 2026 budget policy statement, the draft division of revenue bill 2026, draft county allocation of revenue bill 2026, draft county government's additional allocation bill 2026, medium-term budget management strategy 2026 and 2027, 2028 to 2029, the Senate calendar for regular session, 5th session of the 13th Parliament, February to December 2026, and the report of the Auditor General laid pursuant to the Senate resolution of 11th of November 2025 on the referral of statutory instruments and papers submitted during the recess for the year ended 30th June 2025 on the financial statements of County Assembly of Lamu, County Executive of Lamu, County Revenue Fund, County Government of Lamu, Receiver of Revenue, Revenue Statements, County Government of Lamu, County Executive of Machakos, County Revenue Fund, County Government of Machakos, Receiver of Revenue, Revenue Statements, County Government of Machakos, Machakos County Assembly, County Revenue Fund, County Government of Kajiado, Receiver of Revenue, Revenue Statements for County Government of Kajiado, County Assembly of Kajiado, County Executive of Kajiado, County Assembly of Kitui, Receiver of Revenue, Revenue Statements, County Government of Kitui, County Revenue Fund, County Government of Kitui, County Executive of Kitui, County Executive of Migori, County Revenue Fund, County Government of Migori, Receiver of Revenue, Revenue Statements, County Government of Migori, County Assembly of Migori, County Assembly of Kisumu, Kisumu County Executive, County Revenue Fund, County Government of Kisumu, Receiver of Revenue, Revenue Statements, County Government of Kisumu, Receiver of Revenue, Revenue Statements, County Government of Embu, County Revenue Fund, County Government of Embu, County Assembly of Embu, County Executive of Embu, Moroni Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu, Kisumu County Referral Hospital, Gulf Water Services Company Limited, Nyakach Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kisumu, Nyanas Water and Sanitation Company, Siaya Municipality, Siaya County Referral Hospital, County Government of Siaya, Homa Bay Alcoholic Drinks Control Fund, Municipality of Mbita, Homa Bay County Water and Sanitation Company Limited, Homa Bay County Executive Car and Mortgage Fund, Diru Level 4 Hospital, Homa Bay County Government, Bondo Municipality, Kehancha Municipality, County Government of Migori, Migori County and Referral, Migori County Government, Kilifi County Government Equalization Fund, Mariakani Municipality, County Government of Kilifi for the 18 months, Mtwapa Sub-County Level 4 Hospital in Kilifi, Municipality of Kilifi, County Government of Kilifi, Municipality of Lamu, Faza Sub-County Level 4 Hospital in Lamu, Vihiga County Assembly members and staff mortgage and car loan scheme fund, Westu Sub-County in Taita Taveta, Municipality of Voi, Oresi Sub-County Level 4 Hospital in Kisii. I thank you.
Senator Osotsi and Senator Kajwang, kindly take your seats. Now, honorable senators, I have a communication to make relating to the budgeting process for the next financial year. As you may have noticed, the Senate Majority Leader has tabled the following documents: the 2026 Budget Policy Statement, the Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy 2026-2027, 2028-2029, the Draft Division of Revenue Bill 2026, the Draft Counter Allocation of Revenue Bill 2026, and the Draft County Government's Additional Allocation Bill 2026. As honorable senators are aware, Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act, Senator Correa Joyce. As honorable senators are aware, Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act and Standing Order 186 of the Senate requires the National Treasury to prepare and submit the budget policy statement to Parliament by 15th of February each year. Now, honorable senators, the budget policy statement is an important financial instrument that sets out the broad strategic priorities and policy goals that will guide the national government and county governments in preparing their budgets, both for subsequent financial year and over the medium term. It contains, amongst other things, an assessment of the current state of the economy and the financial outlook over the medium term, including the macroeconomic focus, the financial outlook with respect to government revenues, expenditures, and borrowing for the next financial year and over the medium term, the criteria used to allocate or apportion the available public resources among the two levels of government and various programs and projects, the proposed expenditure limits for the national government, including those of Parliament and the judiciary, and indicative transfers to county governments, the fiscal responsibility principles and the financial objectives over the medium term, including limits on total annual debt. Now, honorable senators, as you are also aware, Section 25(7) of the Public Finance Management Act provides as follows: Parliament shall, not later than 14 days after the budget policy statement is submitted to Parliament, table and discuss a report containing its recommendations and pass a resolution to adopt it with or without amendments. With respect to the consideration of the budget policy statement in the Senate, Standing Order 186-4 states as follows: upon being laid before the Senate, the budget policy statement shall be committed to each standing committee to consider and submit its recommendations to the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget within 7 days. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 186-5, the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget is required within 12 days following the tabling of the budget policy statement, consider the budget policy statement and the recommendations received under paragraph 4 and table a report for consideration in accordance with Section 25(7) of the Public Finance Management Act. Honorable senators, cognizant of the importance of the budget policy statement and the above timelines, I direct that the budget policy statement be considered by the standing committees. Each committee is expected to concentrate on matters that fall under its mandate, and highlighting any policy and financial recommendations thereof. These recommendations must be forwarded to the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on or before Friday, 20th of February 2026. Thereafter, the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget will be required to consider the recommendations from the other standing committees, as well as to consult the institutions referred to under Standing Order 186-6 in finalizing its report on the budget policy statement. The standing committees will be required to table its report on or before Tuesday, 24th of February 2026. Subsequently, the Senate will be required to consider and make a determination on the report by the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget by Thursday, 26th of February 2026. Now, honorable senators, in a nutshell, it means that any proposal that senators have regarding the budget policy statement, the draft division of Revenue Bill 2026, the draft counter allocation of Revenue Bill 2026, the draft county government's additional allocations Bill 2026, and the financing structure therein, among other recommendations, must be canvassed and forwarded to the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning for consideration when finalizing the budget for the relevant financial year. This is a requirement pursuant to Section 25(8) of the Public Finance Management Act and Standing Order 186-9 of the Senate. In conclusion, I urge all standing committees to prioritize the scrutiny of the budget policy statement, taking in consideration our most important function of protecting the interests of counties and their governments and safeguarding devolution. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. The Senator for Kisumu County, the Honorable Senator Professor Tom Ojen. You have 4 statements.
Mr. Speaker, I have 4 statements this afternoon. I want to start with a statement on agricultural land restoration in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries on a matter of county-wide concern regarding ongoing initiatives aimed at restoring degraded agricultural land in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, Kisumu County has recently embarked on implementing strategies to rehabilitate degraded farmland with the objective of enhancing agricultural productivity and strengthening food security. In the statement, the committee should, 1, address the extent of agricultural land degradation in Kisumu County and specific strategies currently being implemented for restoration. 2, the resources allocated as well as the timelines set for implementation of restoration programs. And 3, the measures to ensure sustainable agricultural productivity and resilience against climate change and environmental
Senator
conditions.
Kinyua and Senator Thangwa, kindly take your seats.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my second statement is on criminal gang activity and public security in Kisumu County. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of county-wide concern regarding criminal activity and public security in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, in the recent past, government agencies have mounted operations targeting criminal gangs implicated in extortion, robbery, and other violent acts within Kisumu County. These operations follow heightened concerns over rising insecurity and threats to the safety and well-being of residents. The situation, Mr. Speaker, has raised public alarm and calls for clarity on the measures being undertaken to restore order and safeguard communities. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the scope, progress, and current status of the ongoing operations against criminal gangs in Kisumu County. 2, the measures being implemented to prevent recurrence of gang-related crime and to strengthen security in the counties. 3, the support mechanisms available to affected communities, including protection of residents accessible reporting channels, and rehabilitation programs for former gang members, who are many. Mr. Speaker, my third statement is on the strategic enhancement and performance of Kisumu International Airport. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Housing and Transportation on a matter of county-wide concern regarding strategic enhancements and operational performance on Kisumu International Airport. Mr. Speaker, Kisumu International Airport is a key regional gateway linking Western Kenya to domestic and international markets. While recent developments, including the commissioning of a modern air traffic control tower, are commendable, the timely completion of critical infrastructure works and the extent to which these investments are translating into improved operational efficiency and economic impact continue to be of concern to the country. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following. One is to address the status of ongoing infrastructural enhancements at Kisumu International Airport, including the runway extension works, cargo facilities, cold chain development, and passenger terminal improvements, highlighting timelines, milestones achieved, and any bottlenecks. Two, the operational performance of the airport following the commissioning of the air traffic control tower, including flight handling efficiency, safety performance, and airline uptake. Three, the effectiveness of cargo handling and the cold storage facilities in supporting regional exports, particularly perishable goods, and any gaps limiting competitiveness. Four, the economic impact of the airport upgrades, including changes in flight frequency, cargo volumes, tourism inflows, and employment creation. And lastly, the strategic measures proposed to accelerate completion of pending works, maximize the airport's economic contribution, and position Kisumu International Airport as a competitive regional aviation hub. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, is a statement on the delay in the completion of Kisumu International Convention Center, KICC. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on a matter of county-wide concern regarding delays in the completion of Kisumu International Convention Center. Mr. Speaker, the Kisumu International Convention Center was conceived as a strategic facility to position Kisumu City as a regional hub for conferencing, trade, and investment, while stimulating local economic growth. Despite substantial public investment, Mr. Speaker, and the considerable time lapsed since commencement, the project remains incomplete and only partially operational. The prolonged delay has raised serious concerns regarding intergovernmental coordination, project financing, contractor performance, and overall accountability in the implementation of jointly funded public infrastructure projects. In the statement, the Committee should address the following. One, the current status of Kisumu International Convention Center, including the scope of works completed and the outstanding components. Two, ascertain the total public funds approved, disbursed, and utilized for the project by both the national government and county government of Kisumu. Three, the specific factors that have contributed to the delay in completion, including issues related to contractor performance, funding flows, and intergovernmental coordination. And lastly, the measures in place and the timelines established to ensure the project is completed, made fully operational, and to prevent similar delays in future joint projects. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 57-1, the Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 57-1 to present the business for the week that commences 17th of February 2026. Before I proceed with this statement, allow me to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the leadership of the Senate, to welcome honorable senators to the 5th session of this term of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, sir, as you had rightly observed in your communication to the Senate on Tuesday, the 10th of February 2026, our in-tray is already full with business. Allow me to once again highlight the key legislative business that we need to transact in this fifth session, Mr. Speaker. We have 64 bills, dear colleagues, that are pending conclusion, of which 42 are the second reading, 18 are the committee of the whole, and 4 are waiting first reading, 2 of which actually are scheduled on today's order paper. 4 motions are pending conclusion. We have 19 petitions that are pending conclusions by the respective standing committees. We have 430 statements pursuant to standing order number 53-1 that are under consideration by committees, and those don't include the 4 by Senator Professor Ujenda that he has just added to the in-tray, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, at some point, you may have to give guidance on how many statements are allowed per member, and their activity, in the committees where they are members, Mr. Speaker, because we need to be sure that you're processing other people's business so that we consider yours. Given that this is the penultimate session of the parliamentary term, it is crucial that we seize the opportunity to cement the legacy of this Senate and set the foundation for what this Senate will be remembered for. To this end, I implore upon colleague senators with the business to be serious with the business listed in the order paper every afternoon from any day that this House has a sitting. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, I urge senators to accord equal priority to committee meetings and sessions in order to conclude the business pending before them. I further urge the party whips to ensure that the requisite number of county delegations is attained to enable the Senate to undertake divisions when due. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Tuesday, the 17th of February 2026, the Senate Business Committee will meet to consider the business for the week. Tentative business for that day will include business not concluded from today's order paper, as well as business indicated in the notice paper. The tentative business for the morning and afternoon sittings on Wednesday, 18th February 2026, will include the business not concluded from Tuesday's order paper and the following. These bills at the second reading stage: the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, Wildlife Conservation and Amendment Bill, the Narcotic, Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Control Amendment Bill, the Culture Bill, the County Wards Equitable Development Bill, the Livestock Protection and Sustainability Bill. Bills that are the Committee of the Whole, which include the Public Finance Amendment Bill, the Office of the County Attorney, Public Fundraisings Appeal Bill, Heritage, Museums, Environmental Laws, Statutory Instruments, the Sports Bill, the County Civic Education Bill, County Hall of Fame, Mr. Speaker, together with the Referendum Bill, Mr. Speaker. This is not to be confused with the 2/3 gender rule, but the law that guides on how the country goes into a referendum, Mr. Speaker. That is business that we've delayed for far too long, and I must appreciate that the Senate has actually taken leadership on this important national exercise. The projected business for Thursday 19 will include any of the above business that will not have concluded. Mr. Speaker, I thank you and lay this statement. Thank you.
Now, honorable senators, I will allow comments on the requests that have been made under Standing Order 53-1. Senator Fernandi, Senator Samson Chirange.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my law lecturer, my conveyancing law lecturer. He is hardworking, and I was worried with the number of statements he has, but I know him as our lecturer. He used to teach us, Mr. Speaker, for almost 3 hours non-stop. And I can see he still have the same energy and zeal to continue. This is my real teacher, Mr. Speaker. Not any other proclaiming somewhere else. Others were librarians. Mr. Speaker, what I wanted to mention is this issue of criminal gangs. Mr. Speaker, there is a certain emergence of criminal gangs in this country that is causing worrying trend. I saw yesterday police here in Nairobi trying to repulse on the allegations that there were criminal gangs in Huruma. Mr. Speaker, there was a girl that was shot the other day by the name Cheryl here in Makadara constituency, Mr. Speaker. I was shocked and horrified, Mr. Speaker, when I watched in Mombasa, where my brother Senator Fake comes from, people wielding machetes and invading a shop somewhere within Mombasa City County, Mr. Speaker. It looks like a Haiti. In fact, the first time, Mr. Speaker, that video was sent to me, I was shocked that, Mr. Speaker, I was shocked that there were people who were forcibly entering into a shop somewhere in Mombasa, in Mutwapa, to be precise, Mr. Speaker, in Mutwapa. And I was shocked. Even such things do not happen in Haiti, Mr. Speaker. I want to call to upon, and I want to thank the Inspector General of Police because he appeared before the Senate Public Accounts Committee today, Mr. Speaker. I want to appeal to him. There must be a strategy on how to fight criminal gangs. Mr. Speaker, my worry as we go to the election mood, these criminal gangs will be transformed to be used to terrorize, Mr. Speaker, for political expediency, Mr. Speaker. So I want to appeal to the Committee of National Security and Foreign Relations. Please, what we saw in Mombasa, what we are seeing in Kisumu, what we are seeing in Nairobi here, Mr. Speaker, what we are seeing in Eldoret City, Mr. Speaker, and many other counties, Mr. Speaker, this issue must and should be dealt with once and for all. And I want to thank Professor Tom Ojienda, that we should stop. We should eliminate. Mr. Speaker, the only final point I want to make, could it be these county governments, Mr. Speaker, I don't know when you were the governor, there is a new habit in town that governors are now recruiting enforcement officers, but they are turning them into militia, like Trans Nzoia, Mr. Speaker. And I have the record to prove. Say that they flock, deal with senators who want to ask questions, Mr. Speaker. Why are we, and we asked the police, Mr. Speaker, the Inspector General, when he appeared today before Public Accounts Committee, Mr. Speaker, that why are you allowing governors to come up with enforcement officers, and then they turn them into mini militia to use for political expediency, Mr. Speaker? These are the issues we must deal with. And I want, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, to thank the Inspector General of Police because he confirmed to the committee chaired by Senator Moses Kajwang that any governor who will defy the summonses and invitation under Article 125 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Inspector General of Police and the police will not hesitate to produce them before, will not hesitate to arrest them and present them in handcuffs before the committee, because these are the fugitive of accountability, Mr. Speaker. These are fugitive of transparency. And I want to thank the Inspector General of Police, and some of us will be ready not only to shoot, but to shoot from the hip, Mr. Speaker. With those many remarks, I yield back the mic.
Yes, Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'm concerned because I know earlier this afternoon we had a meeting of the leadership of the House with regards to certain matters that are of public interest concerning the Council of Governors, things that they have raised, and we resolved that there was a communication which you are to give. I'm surprised it's 3:30, Mr. Speaker, an hour later, and you are yet to speak to the House. Mr. Speaker, it's important that the country is updated on this matter. There are certain things that I want to say as Senator. There are certain things that I want to say as Majority Leader. There are certain things that certainly my colleagues want to say about what is happening. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't know what is happening and what is your guidance on this matter. If there are challenges editing, Mr. Speaker, some of us are very fluent in those things. I can volunteer, and I'll do better than Senator Matinga, Mr. Speaker, who has brought a new device, Mr. Speaker, but has included a DCP sign. Yet I know it belongs to UDA, Mr. Speaker. If you look at one of the symbols on this tablet, Mr. Speaker, it is something that Senator Matinga deserves punishment from the party that sponsored him to Parliament.
So, Majority Leader, what guidance do you require from the Chair?
When will you give that communication, Mr. Speaker? Because certainly That is the most important business that members want to transact this afternoon. We want to listen to that statement and certainly say a thing or two about what is being discussed out there. Because, Mr. Speaker, you know, that's a grave matter. As we are walking outside there, people are looking at us suspiciously, Mr. Speaker. There are young men in this house, Mr. Speaker, even whose wives are about to suspect that they have other families, Mr. Speaker. Because if what the governors are alleging is true, and we don't go on record, then they'll be asking, where does that money go to, Mr. Speaker? Because I know some of the brokest people in the country are some of the people I see here, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Senator Kathuri.
Honourable Speaker, actually, it's only that the majority leader has left the podium before I informed him. Mr. Speaker, since I've been around for some time, Mr. Speaker, and any communication from the chair has never been a public debate, Mr. Speaker. Because even if you hand a meeting somewhere, even with the leadership, Mr. Speaker, matters to do with the communication from the chair. No senator can preempt what you want to do. Because the sitting, this house will sit up to 6:30 p.m., Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I feel the majority leader, even though he wants to hammer some point somewhere, he should give you time, Mr. Speaker, to settle down. That communication is with Mr. Speaker. And he should give you time to relax and do it the right time, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Enoch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, two things. One, I think the majority leader is speaking from a position of information that is privy to a discussion where we all sat as leaders. And having interacted with our colleagues before and after that meeting, Mr. Speaker, the expectation on the part of our colleagues is that we need to put this matter to rest. I think the concern is coming from what he began by saying. You know, Senator Tom Ojenda has had an opportunity to seek 4 statements. And now members have started contributing to the statements. The Speaker, as he has said, and he said that looking at me, I don't know why. The Speaker, if there is a problem or a challenge with editing, yours truly is a journalist of long and good standing. I could give pro bono service to edit the document. We lay it on the floor. We put that matter to rest and move on to the next business. As Speaker, I submit.
Now, honorable senators, this is a very weighty matter. It is a matter that touches on the conduct of the business of the Senate, because once you discuss one committee of the Senate, you're basically discussing the Senate. And therefore, I undertook to make a communication today regarding the same. Give me 15 minutes. I will be making that communication. My plea to you is please don't leave the chamber until that communication is made, because it is extremely important that you listen to that communication, and thereafter, of course, I will give opportunity to honorable senators to comment on the same. So kindly stand guided. I plead for only 15 minutes. Then 15 minutes, then I can make the communication. In the meantime, we'll proceed with the comments on the statements that have been sought pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. Honorable Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia taarifa iliyoletwa bungeni na Senator wa Kisumu, Senator Tom Ojenda. Mheshimiwa Spika, magenge ya majambazi ambao wanazurura na kuhatarisha maisha ya watu ni jambo ambalo limekuwa la kawaida katika miji mingi. Kule kwetu Mombasa, Mheshimiwa Spika, magenge haya yako katika sehemu za Kisauni, sehemu za Likoni na hata vile vile sehemu za mjini. Na majuzi, Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna baadhi ambao walivamia duka Mtwapa, na ningependa kumweleza Senator Rigeli kwamba Mtwapa iko katika kaunti ya Kilifi, ambapo Mheshimiwa Spika ulikuwa gavana kwa miaka 10. Kwa hivyo Mtwapa si Mombasa, Mheshimiwa Spika, Mtwapa ni Kilifi. Kwa hivyo mkuu wa polisi katika eneo la Pwani, Mheshimiwa Spika, Bwana Nuno, majuzi ametoa onyo kwa magenge haya kwamba amepeana amri ya kupiga risasi na kuua. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha na ni jambo la kutia hofu kwa swala hilo, lakini vile vile magenge kama haya yamezidi kuumiza wananchi. Mheshimiwa Spika, utapata sehemu nyingi maduka yanafungwa mapema, biashara zinafungwa mapema kwa sababu watu wanaogopa magenge haya kuvamia. Utapata vile vile pia, Mheshimiwa Spika, wale ambao wanafanya kazi katika mahoteli wanapata shida kurudi majumbani kwa sababu wakirudi baada ya saa 2, Mheshimiwa Spika, tayari imekuwa ni hatari katika sehemu zao. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tungependa kwanza, ningependekeza kuwa ile sheria ya community policy iweze kutekelezwa ili wananchi na polisi waweze kushirikiana katika kutafuta na kuharibu haya magenge ambayo yanaendelea kuumiza wananchi na kupora mali na bila sheria yoyote. Mheshimiwa Spika, vile vile polisi watafute wafanye ujasusi, Mheshimiwa Spika, ili wajue wale wanaofanya uhalifu kama huu, waweze kuwashika na kuwapeleka mahakamani bila ya kuchelewa. Mara nyingi Mheshimiwa Spika, uhalifu unatokea baadaye ndio naona polisi wanakuja mbio. Wangejaribu kutafuta intelligence mapema ili uhalifu uweze kuzuiliwa kufanyika kuliko sisi sasa kuwa tunafukuzana na wahalifu. Mheshimiwa Spika, mwisho ni kwamba mahakama zetu pia, Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima ziwe macho ili kukataa na kuachilia watu hawa kwa bond katika hali ambayo ni ya urahisi. Kwa mfano Mheshimiwa Spika, bondi za watu ambao wanapatikana na silaha ama wanapora watu mali lazima ziwe juu kabisa, ili mtu anapopewa bondi ya kwa mfano milioni 1 ama 500,000, familia iweze kushindwa kuweza kumtoa mtu yule ili aweze kubaki ndani mpaka kesi itakapokwisha. Hivyo basi Mheshimiwa Spika, tutapunguza visa ambavyo vinaendelea vya uhalifu kama huu. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia polisi wetu lazima wapewe magari ya kutosha. Sehemu nyingi Mheshimiwa Spika, katika eneo la Mombasa gari ni moja ya katika kituo kizima cha polisi. Kuna vituo vingine ambavyo havina magari. Kuna ofisi, kuna sehemu ambazo DCI wanafanya kazi hawana ofisi. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima miundombinu au miundo msingi ya huduma ya polisi iboreshwe ili kuweza kupambana na magengi na uhalifu kwa jumla kisawasawa. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Honorable Senator Methu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity to give my comments, especially on this statement that has been sought by Senator Professor Ojienda on the existence of gangs in most of our towns. Mr. Speaker, sir, the one thing that we cannot allow and the one thing that we must condemn is the creeping back of lawlessness in our nation, Mr. Speaker. And my comments, Mr. Speaker, supporting the statement that has been sought by Senator Ojienda, Mr. Speaker, sir, is my complaint in the, number one, laxity of the National Police Service in tackling this particular issue, which is a threat to our national security, Mr. Speaker. You have seen a trend, a very dangerous trend, Mr. Speaker, of occasionally, especially in political engagements, of armed gangs being escorted by the National Police Service, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, this may look fashionable, especially when you have some opponents that you are running against, but if we allow the gangs to exist today, tomorrow there will be, when the opponent will not be there, you will be the opponent that they will be engaging, Mr. Speaker. We have seen cases, case on point, Mr. Speaker, you saw in the very, very infamous Wetima Church attack, Mr. Speaker, you saw criminal gangs being escorted by police in uniform, by police vehicles, Mr. Speaker. And this is something that must be condemned. Mr. Speaker, sir, if there is one body, and if there is a refuge that we all run to, is especially police in uniform. And Mr. Speaker, sir, therefore, the police must remain apolitical. You cannot condone, you cannot support, you cannot escort criminal gangs to go and attack other Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. It is the work of the police to ensure that they deal with these criminals, Mr. Speaker. Finally, then somebody asked that we have sent and we have seen a nation descend into anarchy because of allowing criminal gangs to exist, Mr. Speaker. We have sent our policemen to Haiti to go and help that nation deal with criminal gangs that have disturbed and brought instability to Haiti, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, it cannot be that we send our policemen to Haiti to go and deal with criminal gangs, and police back at home, Mr. Speaker, are supporting and are working in cahoot with criminal gangs, Mr. Speaker, especially for political reasons. This is something that must be condemned by everybody from every political formation, because, Mr. Speaker, violence against me today is not necessarily that the people who are violent against me today are not and shall not be violent against you, Mr. Speaker. We cannot weaponize, we cannot criminalize our democracy, Mr. Speaker. If you don't agree with me, don't send goons, don't send police to come and tear gas me. Go and organize your meeting and come and say, so and so was in this place, and what they said, I don't agree with it, Mr. Speaker, and so therefore, this is what I think is the correct position, Mr. Speaker. But this issue of policemen, goons being used, just this Sunday, Mr. Speaker, on our way from Jambidi to a place called Naivasha, the police were wailing us with goons, Mr. Speaker, in some place called Gidafai, trying to stop us from going to attend a political rally in Nakuru. The people of Nakuru are very welcoming. They were waiting for us. A whole huge crowd was waiting for us, Mr. Speaker. But the policemen with goons are waylaying us on the road, Mr. Speaker. We expect that the police are the ones who should be able to protect and secure us, Mr. Speaker. We can't therefore, Mr. Speaker, on one finger, point to criminal gangs that are raining havoc in our towns, Mr. Speaker, but close our eyes when they are being used for political reasons, Mr. Speaker. So I want to support this statement. The National Police Service must remain apolitical. They must ensure that they address this emerging trend, Mr. Speaker, because if we allow it to gain root, Mr. Speaker, then we shall not have a nation. Thank you.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to add my voice to the statement on the emergence of criminal gangs. Mr. Speaker, truth be told, this is not an isolated case in Kisumu County or in Nairobi or Mombasa. It has become a nationwide catastrophe. Mr. Speaker, we have criminals who have developed very, very high levels of confidence and levels of impunity never witnessed in this country. I want, Mr. Speaker, to draw the attention of this House to a meeting that we had this morning with the Inspector General of Police, where we were discussing matters to do with collaboration between the Senate and his office, especially in respect to enforcing the appearance of governors before Senate committees. At that meeting, Mr. Speaker, I drew the attention of the IG to a very sad state of affairs in Kitui County, where, Mr. Speaker, there is an ongoing conflict between a criminal enterprise, a cartel of selfish, greedy individuals masquerading as business people who are trading in our sand from our rivers by force. Between them and the community that is saying that this sand is our resource, and it must be exploited for the benefit of the entire community now and into the future. So, Mr. Speaker, the day before yesterday, that criminal enterprise ferried gangs armed with pangas and rungus and descended on a community along Mwanya River in Mwingi Central constituency. Seriously harassed people, beat up people, killed one man, seriously injured 5 of them, raped women, and just disappeared into thin air. Mr. Speaker, my appeal, and for now we can just appeal. Maybe going forward, the time for appeal may just elapse, I don't know. My appeal, Mr. Speaker, is that the Inspector General of Police will take his commitment to the Senate this morning very, very seriously. That there is nobody in this country who is above the law. That everybody, including himself, myself, and everybody in this country, is a subject of the law. That, Mr. Speaker, action shall not just be taken, but action shall be seen to have been taken to bring the culprits to book and ensure justice for the victims of that attack. Mr. Speaker, this matter began a few weeks ago through the hard work of the Senate Public Accounts Committee when we unearthed misreporting on the revenues that the Kitui County government was receiving from sand as a revenue stream. Because they were reporting that they were collecting cess of 11 million the entire year. But we were able to prove to them that from sand alone, the cartels are collecting more than 2 million shillings every day. And so, Mr. Speaker, because that man that died fighting for the resources of the people of Kitui, I want to challenge the county government of Kitui on the floor of the House to make sure that 2 things happen. One, that the burden of burying Mwendwa cannot be a burden of the family. Mwendwa was not fighting for his own resources. He was not fighting for property belonging to himself. He was fighting to safeguard the resources belonging to the people of Kitui. And the county government of Kitui should take full responsibility to make sure that Mwendwa is given a decent burial. Those that have been injured and our mothers that were raped, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask that the law takes full course and full effect. In fact, I want to challenge my colleagues in Kewosa to go down there and have a conversation with those bleeding mothers, because the ordeal that they went through in the hands of criminal gangs, the Speaker, that must prick the conscience of every leader in this country, in this Senate. Mr. Speaker, I submit.
Senator Kinyua. Now, honorable senators, if you get an opportunity to speak, do so for not more than 3 minutes.
Asante Bwana Spika kunipa fursa hii. Na simama kuunga mkono taarifa iliyoletwa na Senator wa Kisumu Profesa Ojenda kuhusu haya magenge ya majambazi. Bwana Spika, haya magenge ya majambazi kwa muda mchache yameonekana kuongezeka, Bwana Spika. Na ikumbukwe hivi juzi tu, nakumbuka kulipokuwa na maandamano ya vijana hapa Nairobi, tuliwaona haya magenge yakiwa yamebeba silaha yakitembea hapa mjini wakisema ya kwamba wao wamekuja kulinda amani. Bwana Spika, ikiwa haya magenge ya majambazi, Bwana Spika, na vikundi haramu vimeendelea kuongezeka, ilhali tuna maafisa wa usalama na tuna asasi nyingi ambazo Wakenya wamejitolea ushuru kuweza kuwa na hawa maafisa wa usalama, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo mimi ningependa kumuuliza Inspector General wa polisi avalie njuga jambo hili, kwa sababu Wakenya wanaendelea kusononeka, kuishi kwa maisha ya uoga, kwa sababu hivi vikundi, ukitembea katika sehemu za Laikipia, uende katika vijiji, unapata hivi vikundi kila Ijumaa wanatembelea manyumba na kusema ya kwamba wanataka kupewa kiasi fulani cha hela ili kulinda usalama. Ilhali sisi kama Wakenya, Bwana Spika, tuko na maafisa wa usalama wa kutosha ambao wanapaswa kutulinda. Na ni jukumu ya serikali, Bwana Spika, kulinda mali na maisha ya wananchi. Kwa hivyo tunamuuliza Inspector General aliangalie jambo hili, na kamati yetu, kamati ya usalama ambayo namuona mwenyekiti yuko hapa siku ya leo, jambo hili waliangazie kwa undani, Bwana Spika. Kwetu Laikipia kuna hili genge la majambazi ama kikundi haramu kinajulikana wazi, Bwana Spika, na ni kuhangaisha watu, si kwa vijiji, masokoni, kwa mabasi, kila mahali, Bwana Spika. Na wakati tunapohangaishwa namna hii na hivi vikundi haramu, tuna serikali na tuna yule ambaye anahusika. Na si Inspector General peke yake, Bwana Spika, tuna waziri wa usalama ambaye alikuwa ni mwenzetu hapa. Hata yeye anapaswa aliangalie jambo hili, Bwana Spika, kwa sababu tukilichukulia kwa mzaha, sisi hili jambo linaweza kutuharibia nchi, Bwana Spika. Kwa sababu kuna kisingizio, watu wanasema ni ya kwamba pengine hawana kazi, wanalipwa pesa fulani, ilhari, Bwana Spika, tumelipa hela za kutosha kwa maafisa.
Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to my colleagues comment on this issue of gangs as I rise to support this statement by the distinguished Senator, Senator for Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, what I've not heard is how do we tackle this problem? I've heard my colleagues pointing a finger at the police, saying the police are the ones who are failing in their jobs. The police should deal with this matter. The distinguished senator who just spoke last said that we have one of our own who is now in charge of the security docket, that he should be dealing with this thing. My concern, Mr. Speaker, is that we are missing the point. The best way to deal with the issue of gangs is for us to be able to study what is the root cause of these gangs. Mr. Speaker, from top of my head, I can think of two issues. One, which is very big, is unemployment. Number two is that unless we deal with the issue of rural and urban migration, there is no day that will stop having problems in Kisumu, in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in big cities, Mr. Speaker. So the first thing we must do as a senator of this republic is to be able to work with our county governments, and for our county governments to now re-engineer their CIDPs to be able to incorporate projects that can be able to provide employment to the youth. In this country, Mr. Speaker, NYS has produced best technicians, best engineers, best boiler operators. Why can't we think of a way, Mr. Speaker, that we now look at our CIDP, Mombasa County, Kilifi County, Nairobi County, look at your CIDP and say, we need now to readjust so that we can be able to end this issue of unemployment. Mr. Speaker, it is no-brainer that gangs thrive as a surrogate for jobs offering income, protection, and purpose to idle youth. If you go to Kibera today, there are so many idle youth who are there. Of course, when a gang comes, it will thrive as a surrogate, offer protection, give them jobs, and they make money. So the idea, Mr. Speaker, is that we now need to look at our social position. Look at our families. We must mentor our youth. We must provide our youth with jobs to be able to end this unemployment. I bet you, Mr. Speaker, if one of us was unemployed here, and the only way for you to be able to make ends meet is to join a gang, I'm sure most of us here would have joined gangs. So instead of pointing a finger, let us look at the root cause of this problem. There's a lot of social economic marginalization of our youth. Mr. Speaker, if you look at towns like Kibera, if you go to along Wayakiwe, there are people who have migrated from Western Kenya to come and look for jobs here. Now it is
Senator Gataya. More fire.
I think now I'm going to go. Honorable Speaker, I have captured the sentiment raised by Professor Counsel Tom Ojenda over the levels of insecurity in Kisumu. I think, Honorable Speaker, we have been around this country for quite some time, and we have flagged these issues for quite some time about the levels of impunity, the levels of insecurity across the country. Honorable Speaker, I don't know for what reasons, but I think, Honorable Speaker, we have to associate some of these things with the politics. Because I've seen some instances, some of us who are in this space, especially in the political space. Because I listened today to one of my good friends, Senator Wambua, when he was lamenting about the cartels in Kitui before the AG. And the AG was very categorical to ask whether the county government could be involved. And I think some of these things, Honorable Speaker, are manufactured just under our watch. If you cut across very many spaces in this country, you find some governors who have turned law enforcement officers into militias. We have seen some people also during campaigns, people who just commit crime and walk away scot-free without being apprehended. We have some very deep issues on our Speaker to address away from the way we are trying to handle them. We are breeding some serious levels of impunity, which are likely to eat into our morals and ethics. So, Honorable Speaker, it's a matter that needs a national conversation. It's not a light matter that we can easily discuss. Because I think we have some individuals in this country, out of some levels of connections, levels of impunity, have in some way or the other manufactured some serious issues to do with impunity, where people just commit crime and many walk free. I have witnessed in some instances during campaigns, some politicians will just walk along with some militia, carrying weapons, carrying rungus, carrying stones, and maybe terrorizing other opponents. It's something that, as a country, Honorable Speaker, we need to address, regardless of our political affiliations, regardless of our where we want to push our politics. It's all revolves around politics. We don't have to treat anybody with some levels of you cannot be touched. It's an issue, Honorable Speaker, that's in some national conversation, and it's a matter that requires.
Senator Hezena.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to contribute to the statement by the Senator for Kisumu, Honorable Professor Tom Ojienda, on the rise of gangs. Mr. Speaker, from the contributions of my colleagues, it's clear that the rise of gangs has become the newest menace across the country, because I've heard of a county in the east, I've heard of the county in the west, I've heard of a county in the southern, the coastal part, and even worse, we now have gangs in Samburu County. Mr. Speaker, it's very sad to announce that we had lost a young man by the name Kevin Kimani, who was shot at night and his chicken stolen in Maralal town a few days ago, and he was buried at Olmoran in Laikipia County. It's very unfortunate that we have to lose young lives of very hardworking young people who have decided to chart a new path for themselves and eradicate or fight poverty in their own families. That was a young man doing chicken business, being attacked by another idle man, probably high on drugs or being just being notorious. Mr. Speaker, but when we address the root cause of some of these things, at the center of it, you will discover that there is an element of drug abuse, an element of unemployment, an element of corruption within the systems, and also there is also the issue of inadequate facilitation for the law enforcement authorities. As the Senate, we need to ensure that we are proactive in ensuring that resources at the helm of the Ministry of Interior and National Coordination will trickle down to the common police officer down at the grassroots, because these are the people who are directly in charge of ensuring that there is a proper law enforcement within these counties and major towns. As the ODM, we support the broad-based government, but we also need to ensure that they are living by what they promise, the bottom-up economic agenda. That means they have to take care of the people at the bottom. And if this means the resources at the Interior Ministry should be seen at the grassroots, these police officers need to live in better shelters, they need to be paid better salaries, their vehicles need to be fueled, and they need to have the proper financial facilitation and also equipment facilitation to ensure that they are very proactive. And in that regard, I want to commend our police officers.
Senator Keroche.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also rise to support the statement read by Senator for Kisumu, Senator Tom Ojienda, on the criminal gangs. Nakuru is known for the criminal gangs, and they've become so notorious that even now the gangs are seen they are robbing residents of Nakuru in broad daylight. That is in Nakuru town, and you go in Nakuru town, you find they are robbing our Nakuru people in the broad daylight. And these guys, the criminal gangs, are scaring away the investors. And especially in Nakuru, where we are known as a business hub, it's unfortunate that these criminal gangs are scaring away the investors. So I would ask, or kindly ask, the IG to move in very quickly and arrest these criminal gangs, or stop this menace of the criminal gangs. Because if they are not arrested, even His Excellency, as he's trying to do what he's trying to do to support the youth, the young entrepreneurs through the Nyota program, I don't see even where they will do their business. So we need the Inspector of General of Police to move in very fast and arrest these criminal gangs and ensure this menace, because it's becoming like it's like it can be declared as a crisis because it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and to ensure that the residents of our areas like Nakuru, they are living in peace and in harmony, because they keep on asking, where are the police when we are being robbed in a broad daylight? Where is the police? So whatever needs they need to be given, the support that the police needs to be given by the IG to ensure that they have it, so that these criminal gangs, they know that there is police everywhere, and in case they try to rob our residents of Nakuru, they are arrested. And we don't want to see investors being scared to come and invest in our counties like Nakuru, Nairobi, Mombasa, especially these big cities, and the Kisumu. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish also to comment on Professor Ojenda's request for statement from the Minister of Interior. Mr. Speaker, the gangs have really become a menace. And worse is when they operate during political rallies, it makes things uncertain, because in the process, anyone, whether a member of parliament, a member of public, can be injured. And it's a time now these gangs are dealt with. We have seen sometimes gangs working under the protection of police, especially in the city when there are demonstrations, or what was witnessed in a church recently in Nyeri. So one asks a question, why will people who are not uniformed, people who have no police number, do that sort of thing? We have also seen at times, like the attack in Nyeri, bullets and the tear gas canisters on windscreens. Mr. Speaker, this has to stop because it can affect anyone, anytime. Even, Mr. Speaker, the time Parliament was stormed, the people who came here, you'll also call them like almost a similar act. They didn't care which car they broke windscreens. They didn't care whether you are in government or in opposition. They attacked everybody on site, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, it is important, Mr. Speaker, this House takes this matter seriously. We get a conclusion. And also, Mr. Speaker, for the government to narrow the difference between the rich and the poor, Mr. Speaker. When there is failure of wealth distribution, when there is no hope with the youth, when there is joblessness with the graduates, Mr. Speaker, the only other way to look for food is either to be hired as a gang or to form a gang and terrorize people and get a daily bread. Mr. Speaker, this is happening in some parts in Southern America. It is also happening in some parts in South Africa. And it is a growing trend, Mr. Speaker, which has now caught up with us. And there is every need, Mr. Speaker, that this House and the government take the matter extremely serious. And the government itself should lead by example. It should stop. Because if the security systems are working with the gangs, then who protects the Kenyans? The security system, that's why we need the IG to come here and his team to tell us who are these gangs and why do they operate with the police, so that it can stop from top, and then it is easier now for the police to deal with the other gangs left to terrorize people in smaller towns, in homes. Nowadays, Mr. Speaker, they are stealing food, from farms. The same gangs are stealing animals in different parts of the country, and you find a rural home is sterilized. And a lot of time before they steal animals, they kill someone before they leave that home, or they injure people who end up dying in hospital or end up living.
Honorable Senator Andrew Omtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the statement on the floor. The question of armed gangs that are mushrooming across the Republic. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to take off from where the gentleman from Makueni has left off, where he said gangs are even stealing farm food from the farms. We must look for the economic correlation between these mushrooming gangs, between the economy, the performance of the economy, and the mushrooming gangs. Most of these people are even mobilized for very little money. They are stealing food. They are organizing to be able to survive. So we must address the question of the ecosystem within which these gangs are operating. And I think, if my memory serves me right, and being the Catholic I am, in 1967, Pope Paul VI, in March, released an encyclical called Popularum Progressio, the progress of the peoples, in which he said the new name of peace is development. We must make our people rich. If we are stealing from this country and making the country a basket case, we cannot expect not to have a scavenger culture thriving across the nation. Let those who are destroying the economy of this country stop. The police cannot and will not be able to contain this country where people are hungry. The appeal to leadism, to be putting a lead on things, will not work. We must begin drainism. We must drain the swamp. And the swamp is bad policies that are impoverishing this country. Let us develop the people. And as Pope Paul said, the new name of peace is development. Develop this country and get rid of all these problems that we are having. Make our people poor. They are going to engage in all these survival tactics. And we can't blame the police for that. The police can't be able to police every inch of this country. Let us make this country a thriving democracy, and some of these problems will disappear. And again, I plead to those people who are destroying this country by stealing from the public coffers to stop and allow development to take root. Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you.
Honorable Senators, I have this communication to make. I would wish to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon, visiting teachers and students from Kalonzo High School in Kitui County. The delegation consists of 2 teachers and 53 students. In our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Kitui County to welcome the delegation.
I thank you, the Speaker, for granting me this opportunity to join you and my colleagues to welcome the visiting delegation comprising of 2 teachers and students from Kalonzo High School in Kitui. It's actually a school situated in Mwingi Central constituency, which is part of Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, I take this opportunity to encourage the students and their teachers to continue working hard and smart to ensure that, Mr. Speaker, the values that have been so well espoused by the Senator for Busia and begin to take root even from our own classrooms. That a thriving democracy is important for development to take root in this country, and that the new name for peace is development. That, Mr. Speaker, the students will commit themselves to take their studies a lot more seriously, to aspire for greatness, including some of them aspiring to be Senator of Kitui in the near future. Mr. Speaker, I thank the administration of the school for choosing to bring the students into the August House, the upper house of the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya, the Senate, and I hope that their stay and the interaction with the proceedings of the Senate meets the expectations, and that as they prepare to go back home, they will go back home better equipped, better motivated, and that they will be good ambassadors of the Senate and the work that goes on in the Senate. The Speaker, with those many remarks, I join you and my colleagues in welcoming the delegation. I thank you.
Senator, kindly take your seat. Now, honorable senators, this is the communication that the majority leader was seeking earlier on. Now, this communication relates to the series of allegations that have been circulating in the media concerning the operations of certain committees of the Senate, specifically the County Public Accounts Committee and the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committees. As honorable senators may be aware, this matter began on Monday, 9th of February 2026 with a press statement issued by the Council of Governors purportedly demanding for the reconstitution of the County Public Accounts Committee on the basis of claims of political witch hunts, harassment, extortion, and intimidation, allegedly involving 4 unnamed members of the committee. A position was taken by the Council of Governors to suspend appearances before the County Public Accounts Committee until a structured engagement is held between its leadership and that of the Senate, and to limit appearances before the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committee to once per audit cycle. Subsequently, in a press statement, which I issued on Tuesday, 10th of February 2026, I reiterated the Senate's oversight role over the county governments and its firm anchorage in the Constitution. Honorable Senators, as you are aware, Article 96(3) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that the Senate determines the allocation of national revenue among counties as provided in Article 217 and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to county governments. Further, Article 96(1) states that the Senate represents the counties and serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments. I further reiterated that in executing its mandate, the Senate audit committees are guided by Article 229 of the Constitution, which requires Parliament to consider and dispose of audit reports within 3 months of their receipt from the Auditor General by 31st of March of each year. Compliance with this constitutional timeline is not optional, and any actions that impede the audit process undermine accountability and prudent use of public resources. I have emphasized that the Senate remains committed to fulfilling its constitutional mandate and ensuring that oversight over public funds allocated to county governments remains robust, objective, and timely, and inform the Council of Governors that should the Council have concerns regarding the conduct or operations of Senate committees, established and legitimate institutional channels exist through which such concerns may be formally raised and addressed, noting that while the Senate remains open to structured and constructive dialogue with devolution actors, recourse to public mudslinging and unsubstantiated allegations in the media and supported by evidence is neither appropriate nor conducive to intergovernmental cooperation. Now, honorable senators, subsequently, my office has received 2 letters, reference COG/6/10, volume 13, into brackets 84, dated the 9th of February 2026, and reference COG/6/10, volume 13, into brackets 85, dated 11th of February 2026. The purpose of the 2 letters from the Council of Governors is stated as being, 1, to bring to my attention that the Council of Governors' concerns and resolutions on the matter of appearances by governors before the County Public Accounts Committee and the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committee. And 2, to request for an engagement with the leadership of the Senate at the earliest opportunity to address the concerns raised with a view to developing an engagement framework with the two committees. In the letters, the Council of Governors further communicates the resolutions of the Council, being 1, governors shall with immediate effect not appear before CPAC until the concerns raised about the committee are adequately and conclusively addressed. And secondly, 4 senators whom were named be removed from the affected committees as a prerequisite to restoring confidence, integrity, and fairness in the oversight process. Honorable Senators, as you're aware, Article 125 of the Constitution provides as follows. Either House of Parliament and any of its committees has power to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving evidence or providing information. 2, for purposes of Clause 1, a House of Parliament and any of its committees has the same powers as the High Court to enforce the attendance of witnesses and examine them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise. B, to compel the production of documents, and C, to issue a commission or request to examine witnesses abroad. As you're further aware, pursuant to Article 96 of the Constitution, the Senate represents counties, serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments, and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to county governments. Honorable Senators, the thrust of the foregoing provisions, and indeed the totality of the constitutional architecture, is to vest in the legislature the power and mandate to exercise oversight over all state organs and state officers in the performance of their constitutional and statutory functions. No organ, authority, or person, not least the Senate, has the power to suspend, compromise, vary, or waive the legislature's mandates. Consequently, the resolution by the Council of Governors that governors will not appear before CPAC until the concerns raised in their letters are addressed through a structured engagement between the leadership of the Senate and the Council of Governors is untenable. Equally, the resolution by the Council of Governors that governors will only appear once for every audit cycle to respond to any queries before CPAC comprehensively is also untenable. The constitutional oversight mandate is exercised by the Senate as often as whenever the Senate, in its judgment, considers appropriate, and any purported restriction or limitation of this mandate, such as proposed, is unconstitutional. This is further underlined by the decision of the High Court in the case of Hesbon Mole Agwena and Jarius Musumba and 3 others versus Nairobi City Council and the Office of the Auditor General, where the court held that the constitutional timelines spelled out in Article 229(4) of the Constitution, which requires that the Auditor General shall, within 6 months after the end of each financial year, audit and report in respect of that financial year on the accounts of the national and county governments and all funds and authorities of the national and county governments must be complied with, and correspondingly that Parliament must debate and consider such reports within 3 months after receipt of the audit report. This puts the cut-off date for the consideration of the audit reports at 31st of March of each year and severely constrains the program of the Senate watchdog committees. Article 124 of the Constitution vests in Parliament the power to establish its committees and to make standing orders for the orderly conduct of its proceedings, including the proceedings of its committees. The power to appoint members of the committees and to remove them from the service of these committees is exclusively a power of the Senate, and the Council of Governors demand that certain senators be removed from the service of any of these committees without constitutional anchor. Honorable Senators, the foregoing notwithstanding, the request by the Council of Governors for an engagement with the leadership of the Senate is consistent with constitutional requirements of Article 6, 2, and 189 of the Constitution for consultation and cooperation between the 2 levels of government, and is welcome. Accordingly, I have invited the leadership of the Council of Governors to a meeting with the leadership of the Senate to be held on Thursday, 26th of February 2026 at 10 a.m. at the Mini Chamber County Hall, Parliament Buildings here in Nairobi. In the meantime, I have made it clear to the Council of Governors that as a condition for going ahead with the meeting on the proposed date, the constitutional provisions on legislative oversight must be clearly understood to be enforced, and accordingly, any governor invited or summoned to appear before any committee of the Senate must do so, failing which the consequences provided for in the Constitution and the law shall follow. Thank you. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for your communication. That gives me a little bit of comfort, at least knowing that the leadership and you have addressed and given this matter the weight that it deserves. Because as we sit here today, Mr. Speaker, we stand accused because of the actions of governors who, instead of choosing to pursue whatever grievances they may have with the committee of this House, have decided to cast aspersions, name, and say so many other unhelpful things, Mr. Speaker, which many of us took great exception of. I am glad, Mr. Speaker, and appreciate your wisdom in the communication that you have given. But just to provide clarity, I hope I heard you clear, Mr. Speaker, that for us to have that meeting as a leadership of the House on the 26th of February, it is pegged on the conduct of governors' continuous appearance before our oversight committees. And if any of them fails to appear, Mr. Speaker, then let the law follow its course. Because the Parliamentary Privileges Act, Mr. Speaker, as well as all other laws, provide for what you do with errant members of the public who fail to appear or honor parliamentary summons, Mr. Speaker. Parliamentary summons are equivalent, Mr. Speaker, to an order of the High Court of this Republic, and therefore can never be waived by a decision of people who are cooling breeze and enjoying themselves in Kilifi. Then they incite themselves like high school Form 2 students and say, oh, from today we can no longer appear before Senate. That cannot be entertained. Mr. Speaker, you cannot behave in an indignified manner. Then you want to address the House from all the corners of the country saying, oh, we shall come or we shall not come. That can never be waived. Not even you, not even this House, Mr. Speaker, because the Constitution sits at the apex of constitutional order in this country, Mr. Speaker. And it has placed a responsibility on this House on what to do when there are matters that are of concern. I would have appreciated, Mr. Speaker, what I expect a decent governor to do. If you feel you have been harassed by a member of a certain committee, somebody has reached out to you inappropriately, Mr. Speaker, you write to the Speaker and say, I have an issue that I need to bring to your attention because you're the umpire of this House. You're the one that ensures that everything that we do, how we operate,